Hello everybody, welcome back to another video in the channel Child More. Please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to the channel Child More. Please remember to keep your comments just non-offensive. And if you're not subscribed to the channel Child More, please hit that bell notification to get notifications when this video or when this channel receives uploads. This is a very important video that I want to be making. And I encourage that you actually just listen to what I'm saying anyway, because this is actually pretty important. And yeah, and here's the problem. I think a lot of parents don't know how to, raise their kids right. I think this is a lot of the reason why these things are why these type of riots are just happening. Alright, it's obviously because parents just suck at parenting. Like, very, very bad. So, yeah. Um, so far, so far, so far, at least 84 arrests were made. Yeah, I said 80. Or, at least, 48 spring break brawls breaking out. Yeah, and you know what? I have to say, that's pretty pathetic on the children's end. I mean, yeah, and there was a police officer that said, don't think that you could come into the United States and get away with it. Because, yeah, obviously, nobody is above the law over here in the United States. I mean, maybe this actually happened in home country, wherever you came from, that stuff, but it's not tolerated here in the United States, alright? It's not like, anybody could actually just commit a crime here in the United States and get away with it. You might be able to do that in Russia, but, yeah, don't think you could actually get above the law here in the United States, because it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work, Alright? Because nobody is above the law over here. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it like it is, Obviously, nobody is above the law here. Alright, not even the President of the United States. Alright, yeah. America is not a place to, it's not a place for people who get to be like the stupid, pathetic morons that, you want to grow up to be and that stuff. And you think that you could just, get away with whatever you want. Alright, it doesn't even work like that. Alright? And yeah, a lot of people here in the United States, well, they come here into this country anyway and that stuff. And they think that they can just, get away with the law. Like, getting away with the law and then just, get off scot-free. Yeah. But it doesn't even work like that. And you know what? These people come into this country and they get that in their mind and think that they just can do just like whatever they want. And they obviously, they probably have not had parents, parents tell them that, hey, you can, parents tell them that, hey, you can do, like, whatever you want. that stuff. There's a lot of people that obviously they lose their minds. They lose their minds. They don't even know what they're doing. That stuff. They think that the law doesn't apply to them. Oh, I'm over, like, I'm under 18. And I would get that, so if I can do, like, whatever bad I want to and that stuff, and then I think that the law doesn't have to apply to me. Because I'm not at that legal age of going to jail, bro. Now, obviously, I've gotten past that age of 18. So, obviously, if I knew, I would know far better than if I were, if I wanted to go and commit a crime now, you know what, since I'm over the age of 18, you know what, now the age where I can actually go, and, you know, I would be held accountable for my own actions. Okay, so if I were to go out there and just, like, commit straight up murder, then obviously I would get arrested and this YouTube channel would pretty much be done with. And the only one that I would be able to blame at well, at this point, the only one that I'd be able to blame at this point would be myself, right? I wouldn't be able to play the blame game and blame anybody else but myself, alright? And you know what? I'm not gonna blame it on the United States because because they made the rule that in every 50 states you cannot be, that you cannot be above the law. Alright? I wouldn't put the blame on the United States. I would put the blame on myself. Alright? Alright? So, yeah. I mean, anybody can play the blame game here. Obviously, when you're like a teenager, alright, and yes, this police officer who appeared on News Nation said these kids have obviously lost their mind. Well, that obviously has to be just true. You know, in some ways, it is true. You know why? Because there are idiots out there that obviously do end up losing their head. They obviously do not understand, that you can't just go ahead and do whatever you want and think you can just get away with it. Alright? And you know what? It's a pain that the cops have to tell you that stuff because, you know what? Maybe your parenting's just so bad at just parenting. Okay? Maybe they just, that probably never bothered to tell you that, hey, you can do whatever you want. That stuff. I can't stop you. But if that's the case, if the law says, hey, you can't do this stuff, then obviously you're going to do it again because your parents were the ones in the first place that actually just, didn't bother properly train you. And then by the time that you grow up to be an adult, you're going to do the same stick of crime again, and then you'd be like that, hey, I don't have to deal with what the law says. Oh, yeah, maybe you'll think twice before you actually get old enough to actually be held by the law. And then we'll just see who is just laughing. Alright. Alright. Yeah. Then we'll just see who was, just, laughing there. Yeah. You think that you could just come into the United States and just get away with whatever you want? No, I'm not. If I wasn't even saying this stuff, I wouldn't be, joking on this. Alright. Obviously, yeah, this is a big problem in the United States, and a lot of people don't really seem to understand that America has a law, and the law is that, hey, you commit a crime, you have to pay the price. Alright? So I can't just say how disgusted I am. You come in the United States and think that you can just do whatever you want? Alright, yeah, I got something to say to you, and that is, no. If you think that you can just do whatever you want and get away with it, I'm gonna just tell you right now. You are dead wrong if you think that you can just get away with the law. And think that the law doesn't have to have anything to do with you. Alright? Yeah, you know what? These stupid idiots just don't know that, or probably never figured it out. Ever since the time that they were born. Alright? You know what? It's actually sad. You know what? It is. It really is sad. It really is sad. It's very, very stupid that I actually have to tell you up front in a video. Because, this is what these idiots do. This is what these idiots do. They just think that they can just live their life of crime and nothing ever happens. Here. Not in the United States. Not in the United States. It's gonna happen, bro. I can just tell you that for right now. Okay? Because, I tell you what, nobody is above the law and gets away with it. Nobody is above the law. Alright? Because, you know what I have to say? I tell you what, bro. Nobody is above the law and gets away with it. You can't deal with the time, don't do the crime. You know what they tell you? 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 But hey, nobody even grows up and, ever learned, right? I mean, it's just basically what it is. Alright, yeah. I'm disgusted with the pathetic moron moves out there, that stuff. And, yeah, on top of the, yeah, I think out of the spring break brawl that's been happening in Florida, yeah, I think there was like mass shootings that also happened, or gunfires that were actually, I mean, like, hey, I can just say that, hey, you know what, you idiots are gonna figure out one way or the other that, hey, nobody is above the law. Not in the United States. Alright, nobody is above the law, and nobody is ever going to be above the law, period. In the United States, it's always going to be, you do the crime, if you can't deal with the time, don't do the crime. Alright, you know what they say to you, that just, it's just the way that it is, like, you can't deal with that and that stuff, then, you know what, you know what, fine, you want to be a disgusting loser for the rest of your life and that stuff, and you want to act like you just completely lost your mind, you got on absolute bananas, you got on complete crazy monkey mode, and that stuff, you want to act like you just gotten off the rails, that stuff, you know what, that's fine with me, bro, it's fine with me. You know what, because you know what, it's not my life, so, you know what, I could care less. You know what, I already figured out that life isn't about me all the time, alright? I've never, in my teenage years, ever committed a crime, like a criminal theft. And yeah, I can just share a little story with you. Yeah, I've actually witnessed this myself, but there was somebody that just throwing punches and punches and punches and punches, and just punching this guy out of there. My friend was just standing next to me, obviously hand buried in her face. Yeah, and you know what? It's my opinion was, like, how idiotic do people have to be? Like, really, real stupid. I've witnessed another fight where there was a girl beating up another girl over a boyfriend. Yeah, and teenagers are just like wild animals at that point. Yeah, they run like, they run out in the, that they are obviously like, wild animals that are just like let loose out in the open. They just, they obviously have no control of what they're doing. That's what they act like. Stuff. And I think that's exactly probably what I could define. That's probably what I actually could define these spring break brawls. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you like what I said here. Please comment, like, and subscribe to the channel, shows more. And, well, fights are not okay to do. Commit. Have a good day. I'll see you all in the next video.